Thank you, everyone. Everyone hear me all right? Is this one not working? Hello? Yeah, thank you very much. It's great to be here. As Jamie and Kathryn both said, they were flattered, but I'm only 6 months into being out on my own with some mentors, obviously, but it's been the most exhilarating 6 months. So, yeah, my background is I went to uni in Otago, as Hamish said. I was very fortunate to get my last year over in Barcelona at a business school there, Sade, which sort of opened my eyes to a number of amazing opportunities, meeting really, really inspirational people as well. From there I went to Sydney and got a job working on V Energy drink and marketing, which was, as a young sort of 22-year-old Kiwi, having energy drink to keep you awake all day and get you through a weekend was wonderful. But the thing that really sort of helped me define what I wanted to do was it was just the time where social media was starting to take hold. It was 2006 and MySpace was just starting to come about as being a leading social network with people being able to network with their friends, colleagues and people all over the world. I can remember getting a bit of shit from people for actually being on MySpace, spading girls or whatnot, but what it actually did is lead to an opportunity for V Energy Drink about creating a place where young 18 to 24-year-olds could network and find jobs in Australia that they really wanted to do, rather than go through their usual tertiary education of being lawyers and accountants or the things that were expected. They could start to find positions in fashion magazines or as creative designers with companies that made sneakers, or the list goes on. That campaign was lucky enough to win Ad News Campaign of the Year in Australia, which really gave me the confidence that this space was absolutely booming. From there I got brought back to Air New Zealand, where I spent 2 years, moved into a role which was a digital role, which quickly became looking after social media. Pretty much 3 months after I started there, this whole space went boom, and Air New Zealand, with great leadership from the likes of Rob Fyfe, embraced it, and so I really got to ride that wave. So I was really fortunate to be able to do that, and after about 2 years with a couple of my mentors within the business and with outside of the business, really said that you've learnt so much, you might as well get out there and actually put this to practice, because there's no one else with the connections that you've made or the experience doing the same stuff in this country. And I kind of thought, well, it's now or never, and a couple of things pushed me out, and that was 6 months ago, and I'm just not looking back. So I've had the opportunity to work on Rhythm and Vines with Hamish, which has been fantastic, working with people like Dean Taylor and Bridget Taylor from the Gruen Transfer on Tourism New Zealand. And I think the thing that I'm sort of going to be trying to get across to you guys tonight is, rather than the successes that I've had, because hopefully they'll be in the future, it's more around the ways that you can actually embrace new media to help your own networking. To network, I guess, in its traditional sense, would have been to meet people in a physical context. That's still so important, and we've heard stories of Hamish, Kathryn, and Jamie already, and I'm sure Tim will talk about them, about the people you meet and the people that you connect with. But now you've got this unprecedented technology to actually keep those relationships alive wherever you are. And I've had a couple of people that I'm really inspired with that I've been fortunate to meet in the sort of mobile social media space, and one of them is obviously Derek Handley, who's very inspiring, the Hyperfactory founder, and I met him at a bar and actually made an effort of going up and speaking to him and telling him what I was up to. The next day he added me on LinkedIn, and so now we've got a really good dialogue. Another person, Mark Darcy, who was the head of Time Warner Media Group, a Kiwi, and really inspirational guy. When I was at New Zealand, I got the opportunity to go and meet with him in his office 57 floors above Central Park, and I can remember sitting there going, shit, how do I get here? And when he went out of the office to take a phone conference, he gave me over an hour in his busy schedule. I can remember snapping photos on my iPhone and going, wow, this is amazing. But again, from there I thought, if I can stay in touch with people like that, that's a pretty powerful thing. And now he has just taken a head media marketing role at Facebook, and I still keep in touch with them. So you can start to think how those social online networks can actually help you further your career. LinkedIn is obviously the most obvious one for networking for business, but using Twitter to actually follow people that inspire you, whether in your industry or in related industries. There's resources like the TEDx speeches, which is video obviously, and a number of blogs, and I think those resources are underrated, and they're sort of, if you can embrace that media, it puts you at a competitive advantage of other people that don't. And I can't speak highly enough how, for me, being able to adopt that early on and actually learn that puts you in a great space. So where to from here? I think for me, I just want to keep learning as much as I can. I think, being able to work with brands that really want to connect with people, you need to be able to speak the language and be in the places they are. Lots of brands now see new media and social media as being somewhere that they have to be. They don't want to be there. They don't know how to speak the language, but they're trying to force their way in there. My whole philosophy is around that technology really is changing all the time, but people don't. So it's about trying to connect brands with the people, and technology is a way to do that. So for me, I'd love to keep growing my business. It's still in its early days, and I'm getting to choose which projects I work on, but that's something that is very challenging for me. Normally when I'm getting up at speaking at conferences, it's normally on something I know the ins and outs of, not in front of people about how to run a business. So this is new to me, as is every day. But I'd love to get over and sort of follow in Derek Hanley or Mark Darcy's footsteps over to New York and be able to keep trying to grow businesses as well. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. It's much appreciated.